Hello and good day to all friends. This is Mujtaba Rasti. I'm here from the Thales team, and today is December 2nd, 2025. I'm here with a Bitcoin analysis using the Tulsa Market Screener tool, just as I had promised you. We'll take a weekly look at the end of week expiry, and as always, please note that these analyses are for educational and informational purposes only. And if you use them to take positions in the market, the responsibility for any profits or losses will be entirely yours. Alright, let's take a quick look at the end of the week expiry. I'll be considering trades from the start of the week. I'm taking that into account. That is from November 28 up until now. One sec. December 5th, only December 5th. So we have 18,882 Bitcoin. If we add the open interest, which is about 8,000 Bitcoin, that brings the total to 10,569 Bitcoin. In fact, a total of 445 options contracts have been traded for the end of the week since last Friday, and this is the chart we have. It's generally a downward trend. Of course, I don't think the downward trend shown here is as likely to go as low as it's depicted. I mean, look here. Does the chart start making a profit below 70,000? I don't think the price is going to drop that much. Because even if you look at it from here, you see that we're at a loss all the way down to 70,000. That is, the put buyer is at a loss all the way to 70,000. They have to pay a hefty premium and stay in the red before they can turn a profit. Whereas on the upside, it's much easier and more accessible for us to get close to profit. So if we zoom in, we can say we're facing a situation like this. That is to say, there is a definite floor at 85,000, a clear ceiling at 94,000, which represents the peak profit ceiling, and then around 96,000. This is the zoomed in view. Let's also turn on delta and gamma so we can discuss them more. You can see there's a heavy gamma at 70,000, and here there's also a ceiling at 94,000. Based on the delta, if we go down, you can see that up to 84, even around 83, that's actually where put buying starts. Up to 83, put sellers basically dominate, and when we get to about 83, it reaches a balance. Now, 82,900 is just an approximate level, and if it breaks below that, we actually have a gamma from put buying at 70,600. At 70,600, the gamma has dropped a lot, and these are the trades happening there. Let's move forward from the beginning of the week using the slider and see what changes occur. It's still bearish. Look, even at this point, it's clear that something has happened here. Look at the volume. The volume here has started to increase. Something has happened here, so let's move forward and see what happens when we get to this point. It's still bearish. Look, the bullish leg starts to rise, the bullish outlook starts to go up. Let's continue. It went much higher further on. Now look, not only did it even out, but right now we have a gamma at 80 and 9,000, 8 and 2. You could say we have a very strong gamma at 90,000 and from December 1st. Look, almost from December 1st, this trading volume has come in. Now, what happened on December 1st? December 1st was the official announcement of the end of quantitative tightening. Basically, it was the Federal Reserve, meaning the policy of monetary tightening was officially declared over, and they're moving toward economic expansion and injecting liquidity into the market. Naturally, these are the policies the Federal Reserve wants to move forward with. Is this surge in inflow and this change in form related to that? Maybe. If we look higher, you can see the bullish move, and here the downward leg also drops, as you can see. Yes, starting from December 1st at 10 p.m. And we can actually go a bit further ahead and say, officially from the start of today for the weekend outlook with 1,266 Bitcoin. It becomes a bullish outlook. Gamma is at 89, the peak profit, not exactly the peak profit, but here is the intersection of delta and gamma at 92,500, and the peak move could be there. If we consider the end of delta as well, it's around 95. and the price is currently moving upward in that direction. Let's go further. Well, here again, you can see it still has a bullish pattern, but it's very actually volatile. Here you can see a sudden spike in volume. A large volume has come in here, and when we move the slider here, this volume gets calculated and the curve shape changes, but it still shows a bullish condition. Even now, look, it's become even stronger. A bullish situation. So here, the recent trades entries have taken on a bullish trend for the weekend. Although, look how crowded it is here. According to the technicals, we can still consider the distinct possibility of yet another attack on 84 based entirely on the intricate structure that is formed here. You also observed a significant reversal once again in the overall main shape of the curve, clearly showing that our delta here can still potentially go and thoroughly test the 823 and 500 levels, which is quite important. For example, it could see 824, and if it moves upward, the ceiling could reach up to 97, but look at how it ends. Saudi perspectives are entering the market. That's the point. So if we look at this tomorrow, it's likely that there will be more Saudi trades, meaning more of a Saudi outlook. In the recent hours and the current day we're in, their entry has increased for the weekend. Let's continue. Let's take a look at the strategies and large trades, for example, those over 50 Bitcoin, which still show the same situation. Let's do that. Let's check the trades over 100 Bitcoin, which are still at 28 trades. Let's go on. Look, I filtered for trades over 100 Bitcoin. See how many there are? 28. Here, we have 28 orders of 100 Bitcoin or more. Now moving the slider. See how many are left? 22. Look, the number of trades over 100 Bitcoin here has decreased. So fixed trades were reduced. There were 28, now there are 22. I'm moving along the whole path, and it doesn't go below 22, but when we get here, so you see, the big players have entered the market since yesterday. It's really interesting to see this happening right before the weekend. How exciting is that? Can we get a signal from this? So since yesterday, trades of 100 Bitcoin and above have entered the market for the weekend for December 5th. Because from this point on, you'll see these 22 trades keep decreasing. I'm moving forward. So, look. The reason for this is, look here, you can clearly see a strong long position, especially around 90,000 and 89,000. It's really dominant. Let's go on. A bit further ahead, it becomes completely bullish here, just like what we saw in the unfiltered volume view. All right, let's take a look at this 28 Romeo and see what we can find in it. These two, well, look, are these two apparently a strategy? No, they're not. I thought their block numbers were the same. Let's see, these two are actually a strategy, numbers 8 and 9, a short straddle which has just been reached. The maximum profit is 88,500, the ceiling is 91,300, the floor is 84,200, right in between. There's no clear indication of which direction it wants to move. We don't have any other strategies. There are no more strategies. All the block trades are single lots, as you can see, and their entry is in favor of calls. Take a look at these last ones. From 2 o'clock today, 100 Bitcoin, quite a lot. In fact, call buyers have entered the market. And is it clear that the 100 Bitcoin call buyers entered today? We have puts here, long puts. Up to this point, we have two 500 Bitcoin positions. Short call at 94. Well, I think we mentioned this before too. These are really eye-catching, meaning two traders in two. In fact, they sold a separate block of calls, which in total adds up to 1,000 Bitcoin at 94,000 for the end of the week, for the weekend. So what else do we have? We have two at 175 Bitcoin, which, I think these are the same ones. It was a short straddle. Yeah, this was the same short straddle, and now we're right at its target. We have 150 Bitcoin. We have a short call at 93, 125 Bitcoin, and a long call at 96. This is interesting. A long call at 96 and here, 300 Bitcoin shortput. So actually, if you average it out, it comes to 85, 84. And here there's a play with 500 Bitcoin. Of course, the long put is at 70,000, which is a bit strange and has messed up the shape of my curve. I mean, if we remove this 500, probably, well, no. Overall, it would still be like that. But anyway, it's odd. And there's also 250 Bitcoin long put at 80. 5. Now that it's like this, let me take a quick look as well, just to see. Out of this number, from 4,375 to 2,475 were bought. Out of this, 1,025 calls were bought, and 1,450 puts were bought. If we consider the puts from November 28th, yeah, let's do that. From here, from this point, these puts were the ones that were exercised. You see, the puts were exercised. What level were they aiming for? The puts were bought below 84, and we saw it go down to 83,800. Of course, there's still room for it to go lower because we came all the way down to 84. You saw profits below 84, so the price could still go lower. So these puts have been exercised, and if we slowly move toward the calls are seeing profits above 90,000 for Friday. And the sellers. The sellers have 1,900 Bitcoin, of which 1,425 Bitcoin are call sales and 475 Bitcoin are put sales. Right now, we're moving downward. That means the put sales have been realized since Friday. I saw the put sales at the 84 and 500 level. The average bottom that the put sellers have seen is 84 and 500, which we've already hit once. Where did the call sellers see the top? Take another look. The call sellers saw 90,300. So it seems like we can still rely on this. Strategy, stay on this path and keep going. Up to the 90,000 range that we have. This move means it looks like the puts, at one stage, reached their target of 8,400. The calls are being realized, the direction of the calls is being fulfilled, with the ceiling at 90,000, just as we analyzed the drop, and then, in fact, it's possible that by Friday we might see another attack on 84 because of the technical conditions that we also see on the chart. Now, we can also take a look at the daily chart. Yes, look. This candle can go in two directions. There are two possibilities. It can either go up and close as a green candle, or it can come down, basically become a hammer, and then tomorrow's candle could pull itself up to around 90,000. So this scenario is also possible. For example, the candle could come back down to 86, maybe 86,500, form an inverted hammer, and then the next day's candle could take us up to 90,000 at that point. We have to see if we go back down to 80,000, but it seems, based on the 4-hour time frame, right now we need to reclaim this level with strength to be able to say, okay, something is about to happen to the price, specifically around the 91,000 level. In that case, this gap still hasn't been filled. We should go up to this point to fill the gap, and then probably see another move toward 84,000 by Friday. Good. The important point is, as you saw, at the end of this side of the trades, a bullish outlook is entering the market from December. A bullish outlook is entering the market. So it's possible that the low we're waiting for could even come, touch here again, and bounce back. Maybe that'll be the end of it. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Thank you for your attention. I hope this was helpful, and until the next analysis, goodbye.